So literally less than 24 hours ago, Georgia has won the national championship. How about them dogs? Come on now, let's go.
Dogs.
Yeah, so we got 2 wins, actually. We got that win, and then their linebacker, Nakobe Dean, has a rally coin. That's a big deal. That's a great sign of progression right there for creator coins. So talk to me about this. What do you think?
So that's big news for, the state of Georgia overall. They had the Braves, and then, now we get Georgia. Actually, before that was the Atlanta United. They had a championship too. So
let's go.
Georgia's no longer cursed. There we go.
Facts.
No longer cursed.
Falcons next.
Hopefully Falcons and the Hawks. We'll see what they got. My bet's on the Hawks, but for the Falcons. But Nakobe Dean, he's a linebacker. And for those of you that don't know, Rally has social tokens, which means that you can buy his coin, ticker symbol is NRD on Rally.io. And we'll go over his chart in a second, but you can buy into his token, and he can have like meet and greets with his token. It could be that you only pay him in his token to get the meet and greets. You hold a certain amount of his token, and he can have merch on there. There's other college athletes on there with like foundation. So like they put some of that money towards their foundation or charity or whatever. But Nakobe Dean is a high quality. Actually, Rally has a couple very potential high draft picks on the platform. So Nakobe Dean is one of them. Kayvon Thibodeau's another one. But they're both projected to go first round. Dean probably lower than Kayvon would be, but it really does depend on his strategy with this. My thought is that a lot of these athletes don't want to focus on it as much during the season, so that they don't get distracted. And then during the off season, maybe they focus a bit more heavily on like some of their projects, because a lot of these guys, they're very early adopters of these concepts. So the fact that he's a college kid and he's already knows about crypto and he launched his own coin is something to definitely look at. And he's going to the draft, so he can have a lot of stake in his coin going forward. Because who knows what he's going to do? A lot of these people, Clay and Iguodala just started to say that they're going to get part of their paycheck in Bitcoin. So there is a lot that they can start to do with getting their paycheck in Bitcoin, and then they can move this percentage over to their own social token and have like all this cool stuff surrounding them and actually be their own brand. Instead of like they get brand deals, right? But there's a difference between that brand deal versus somebody who has their own like branded sneaker, right? So his, historically, has done okay overall. Actually, right now, not financial advice we're giving out, but not a bad point to get in on his. Me personally speaking, I think he's had a couple peaks and troughs. He launched, and this was November. So he launched his November. So he's been on there a couple months on Rally. You guys can pull up his chart if you're listening to this. We'll probably have the video on there if you're watching the video. But I'd say if he can get some focus on it, watch his Instagram, watch his Twitter. If he starts mentioning it more and start to have more exclusive content with it, I think it can be a decent long-term play. Right now, you can do both. You can like try to just hold some and then also trade some on there. It really just depends. But when you go look at his chart, like the more products and services he starts to list on there, meet and greets and all that stuff, I think it can do well. So it would have been ideal, like going forward, future thinking, if they win and like he has like all these, or let's say to go to the game, he was giving out 10 tickets to people who held his NFTs on here. Like let's say he came out with an NFT collection and then people who are in the top tier, hey, if we make it to the championship game, I'll give you guys 10 tickets.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That would go crazy.
100%.
That would go crazy. So future thinking, guys. But yeah, that's what I'm gathering from this one.
Let's go.